There's always a better way to do what you're doing right now. So be grateful. Now they're just like, oh my gosh, there's so much more to do, right? And I was like, no, programmatic is where my heart is. Amen. Welcome to an episode of Programmatic Digest podcast. I'm your host, Hélène Parker, and I'm excited to take this week as a small break from our Programmatic Ninja Well-being Series. So we've published about 3 episodes of the Programmatic of this series. We had a special guest called Brett Middleton from Canva Worldwide, and our series was really focusing on uplifting the Programmatic Ninja, but also talking about some of the challenges we all know about but don't want to say out loud. Okay, so episode 119, which aired about 2 weeks ago, was about the airing of grievance. Like, what are the challenges we face as programmatic ninjas? The second episode of this series was about minimizing effort and increasing automation. And what we mean by that is that there are things we can do as programmatic ninja to really be better and more efficient at what we do. And sometimes it doesn't always involve AI or that fancy ChatGPT conversation we see on LinkedIn, okay? The third episode, which aired this past week, was all about how to set up a programmatic team successfully. And we talked about different models. We talked about when you're looking at working for certain companies, those models can really be important to know about before you get there, right? So strongly recommend the series. So the last episode will air in a couple weeks, where Brett and I are going to talk about how to move from a junior programmatic ninja to a lead, a senior programmatic ninja, to a director level. There are very concrete, clear, and concise skills that you will need to be able to move up in your career. And you don't gotta gain this all in 10 years. But so that's why we're here to share exactly how quick you can move on in your career by developing those skill sets from day one. Okay. So that's coming out in a couple weeks. In this particular episode, you all know by now that we're doing a optimization series, right? So an optimization bootcamp series on the next 4 Wednesdays of March. And we're going to take the next 10 minutes to talk about a couple of things. So we're going to review why you should join the bootcamp. And then I'm going to leave you with a video that was requested by entry-level juniors or people that are looking to work in the programmatic advertising space about what our roles is as, or job duty is as, like a programmatic ninja. So the optimization bootcamp, really quickly, is 4 private masterclasses to help build efficiency in your, and transparency, okay, in your programmatic supply pipeline. So this is perfect for programmatic ninja that is operating a DSP, an account manager at ops, but it's also really great and valuable information for somebody in sales, again, account management, in product management. Why? Because understanding the complexity of the buying side, the complexity of what it takes to really manage the performance of our supply in the DSP is very important. And it can be very valuable because now you'll understand exactly certain conversation that can happen, or you can prevent certain conversation from happening from your clients, or you'll know how to really address them. So it's 4 classes, master classes. The first one starts Wednesday, March the 15th, and it's at 12 p.m. Eastern time. It's in about an hour. It's about 45 minutes of learning and 15 minutes of interaction. And for each week after, so the 15th, March 15th, and afterwards, for about 4 weeks after, we will be doing that hour masterclass. So the first masterclass is about targeting levers. Again, you probably heard me talk about them because that's how important it is. How can you optimize your ad campaign? How can you plan? Okay, how can you do planning and strategy if you don't even understand capabilities offered to you via that technology that we use that's called a DSP? Okay, so what we call targeting levers is literally What settings can we add to make sure we reach the audience that your brand is looking to reach? Okay. So targeting levers can look anything from creative, time of day of the week, reach and frequency, audience segments, site inventory. I mean, you name it. There are about 12 to 13 standardized targeting levers that we'll cover during this. Okay. So it's perfect to understand for any juniors, again, to any mid to senior level, because it's a good way to see and grasp everything that's available to you. Okay. The second masterclass is going to be on building your own programmatic supply pipeline. So what we mean by that is that we cannot all afford, our brands cannot all afford or always afford very guaranteed programmatic deals, right? Because those can be pricey. So we rely a lot on something we call the open marketplace or the open exchange. Okay. And so how do we make sure we build a supply pipeline that we trust? And that goes back to identifying and analyzing the pipeline, which are SSP sellers. Okay. So during the second masterclass, we're going to talk about the fundamentals when it comes to optimizing site lists, but also how to make sure you continue receiving great inventory from those pipeline. And I'll give you some tricks in terms of how to build partnership and how to select those partners. The third masterclass is really frequency and recency. Okay. Frequency and reach is two things that the clients love to throw in a plan or to ask of us programmatic ad ninjas. But how do we report on it? Okay. A lot of the people I talk to only use the word frequency as a setting, as a pre-bid setting, meaning I'm just going to select these and then just leave it on. But when you pull your report, you can understand a path of those conversion. How frequent did we need to serve in order to get that conversion at the perfect pricing? Okay, because it's finding that point, that one point in time that makes it magical. And now when we hear recency, I think it's two things that we use interchangeably, but it's very different. So frequency is how frequent is my ad going to be shown to that main user. Recency is how recent in the retargeting pool did this user join? How recent did they see the ad before converting? So how frequent are we showing the ads? Is it twice every hour? And how recent did the user see the ad before converting? Okay. And these two metrics are very important for telling the story we're trying to tell to our brands and clients in that insight report. So the third masterclass will be just that. And the final masterclass is going to be a bonus masterclass. And for more information, I'm going to invite you to go to HéléneParker.com/optimization masterclass. So HéléneParker.com/optimization masterclass. And here's the thing. Why should we join? Because being efficient is not an option anymore. It's a must. Nobody has time to optimize. Nobody has time to learn additionally. Nobody has time to build those partnerships anymore because we're on the go, But as traders, that's the difference between being good and great. Taking it that extra level and building your own partnership from the start. So being able to understand what we'll learn in the masterclasses is going to help you do things more efficiently. Okay, so that you can be the servant leader I know you are, and spend more time with focusing on things like overall tactics or go-to-market strategies, right? I mean, our main role is managing the ad campaign, but how can we take it to the next level? How can we bring what we're learning in our everyday management to the future planning part, assisting business development and opportunities, continuing to invest in your self-development, including sharpening your skill set. And joining this masterclass is a great way to do so. Or just simply getting back into your daily yoga, daily self-care, daily hugging walks because it's beautiful outside, right? So this is definitely for you if you are part of a team that has 20 people or less. You're running a programmatic campaigns in DSPs, whether it's Basis, the Trade Desk, DV360, NCM360, Adelphic, MediaMath, AdLib, Chuzo, any of the DSPs that are out there will be very, very relevant content for you. This is also for you if you're Programmatic Ninja too. You're just trying to do better, okay? You don't want to stress about a campaign you haven't looked at or touched after launching 2-3 weeks ago because you've been so busy or it's not as important or high priority. And this is for you if, again, you want to be able to do things efficiently. And I will teach you how to optimize in 15 minutes or less. Okay. And this is definitely for you if you're constantly pulled in multiple directions and can't find time to do your work guilt-free because you have all these other things you've been asked to do. Okay. Hi, did you know that at Hélène Parker Consulting, we now offer an accelerator program where we attract, recruit, and train future marketers? And their training include a 6 weeks program where they cover programmatic landscape, important industry trends, the differences between targeting placement and targeting mix, and their best practices, including optimization and reporting hacks. And they're able to set up, manage, and monitor a campaign, a demo campaign in the trade desk, everything including audience selection, inventory optimization, SPO, creative upload, brand safety, you name it. They're able to do it at the end of the 6 weeks program. So if you are part of the 90% of employers struggling to find a skilled candidate today and not willing to spend $14,900 on a bad hire, according to Zippia, give us a call. Let's discuss which one of our 5 to 10 juniors available every month is the perfect fit for your team. Clients who have hired our juniors have shared that we were able to help them save 1 to 2 months onboarding with those juniors. Give us a call right now and let's discuss the solution with you. When you join the masterclass, you also get some bonuses. So after your investment, you'll get replay of each sessions up to a week. You'll also get access to 45 minutes free consultation with me. That means that we're going to learn together. And then if you have questions specifically about some clients, then you can book that free 45-minute consultation with me. And then we can assess exactly based on your unique clients and unique situation. And of course, that will remain during our conversation. So that's very valuable because how many times have you attended like a webinar, an event, and you're like, dang, I have follow-up questions, right? And then you forget to ask them because you don't have access to the speaker, in front of you. So now I'm giving you opportunity to access me right after or anytime after, okay? And then you will be eligible to get 23% off of any modules of the reach and frequency, which some of these recordings after will get available in the course, and then you automatically get added to our Slack community because again, it's about community. It's about being able to access the answers you need, the support you need. It's about having the courage to do so. And being in Slack, we have a community of 90 plus people. About 20 members are very, very active. Some days are quiet and some days are busy. Why? Because it's optional. If you need help, if you need support, you know where to find it. And I have access to it. You can DM me any of your questions. Okay. So again, this is 4 masterclasses. Each will be about an hour every week after March 15, noon Eastern Standard Time. And recordings will be available with your purchase of $475. One-time purchase, that's it. But guess what? We have different ways of grabbing this amazing deal, which would be, you can do the investment for $475 and have access to all 4 classes and have access to the recordings, like I said, and all the bonus mentioned. Or you can come on and use Afterpay. And I believe with Afterpay, payments can be as low as $100, okay, until you pay it up. So 4 interest-free, I believe it says 4 interest-free installment of 118. We also have access to Klarna, a firm. Why am I talking to you about all these options? Because if your job is not wanting to pay for this amazing training, then I would strongly encourage that you still put yourself first and invest, because this is going to be very, very valuable for you. Okay. So now that you know about the masterclass, we're going to go into the episode. Again, if you want more information, it will be found in this description, the show notes, or on YouTube in the video description, or you can go to HéléneParker.com /optimization masterclass. HéléneParker.com /optimization masterclass. One word, no dash, no nothing, no spaces. Okay. Now, in the next 8 minutes, we're going to add a video that I recorded for some of the Reach and Frequency program, which teaches historically excluded people how to start and grow in their career in programmatic advertising. And it's a program where I take career pivoters or non-marketers through everything they need to know from a technical perspective to a soft skill perspective to become the best programmatic ninja they can. And I've recorded this maybe 7-minute video to really highlight a role as a programmatic ninja, as a programmatic trader. So enjoy the rest of this episode. As always, you know where to find me, and then I will see you next week. So this video, I am going to explain the top few technical skills and soft skills you need for one of the most in-demand job in programmatic advertising. So what is the most in-demand job on the market? You guessed it right. It is programmatic media trader or programmatic media buyer. First of all, let's take a quick second to highlight that if you recognize this person, you are most likely a 90s babies and probably an 80s babies, okay? Or even older than that. But I know you ain't old, but I know you ain't that young, okay? You're like me. So programmatic media trader is one of the most in-demand jobs right now. There are many other jobs that you can have, but I'm going to focus on programmatic media trading for this video. This is probably one of the most common job responsibilities you'll see. You'll have to manage day-to-day programmatic activities. You have to manage basic account maintenance, including customization of audiences. You'll be responsible for direct optimization, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to go through each and explain the technical skill for this. When you see on a job description for programmatic media trader, which honestly is simply a campaign manager, your number one role is to manage the ad campaign in that technology. There's several DSPs available out there, and you can all learn them, okay? So one of the fundamental job of a programmatic trader is maybe setting up the campaign in the DSP, in that technology, managing the performance, and maybe reporting. So that's like fundamentally what you'll be expected to do as a trader, a different level. When you see something like manage day-to-day programmatic advertising activities across multiple DSP, which I'm referring to the first bullet point, it's simply that you're going to set it up based on the information you'll be provided, and then you're going to manage based on the key performance indicator that you'll be held accountable for based on that goal. Okay, the second one simply means that it's almost very similar to the first bullet point. When you're setting up your campaign, you will be responsible for things like budget, inserting the tactics, and audience is very important. And floodlight is just something that allows us to measure how we're performing. Okay, so that's just a name that a technology used to say, this is my tracking mechanism to help me measure what's happening. So that's what you see that. The third bullet point is responsible for campaign direction and optimization across various ad formats. So if you don't know the different ad format, make sure you watch some of the videos where I explain the benefit of programmatic advertising, where I show you what different formats are out there. But this is basically like once you start that campaign, you're going to start seeing data come in. You're going to be responsible to to look at certain metrics and dimension. And optimization is just the exercise that we do as trader, as campaign manager, where we pull a report. Most of the time it's Excel-based, Excel form, and we look at the data, okay? We do an analysis. It's just like at the end of the month, when you look at your bank account, you do the analysis. You're like, where's my money gone? Like rent is due, mortgage is due next. Where's the money? So you go through your bank account data. You can also download that as a PDF, but I'm sure if you want Excel, they could send that to you. And then you assess how much money was spent where you need to cut down, if you need to return anything, if you need to stop buying from Amazon, something like that, right? So you do this analysis based on your goal. My goal is to figure out how much money I've spent, where I've spent it. Same thing when it comes to optimization, based on your Excel sheet, based on that management, based on the performance. You look at things like your inventory, right? And then you'll assess which one costs you a lot, which one did not cost you a lot, where you're spending the most money, and how to adjust moving forward. That's all it is. You're already doing analytical, you already have that analytical skill set, right? So back to the technical skill set. We covered the day-to-day management. We covered the fact that you may have more than one technology to learn. We covered the fact that you will be responsible for optimization on different platform. And then the next point will be negotiation with private marketplace, data management platform. This is simply just you knowing this platform and the campaign so well that you'll be asked to lead certain conversation in front of a vendor. If a vendor is pitching you to sell you, if I was a rental company and TripAdvisor is pitching me, that kind of negotiation, discussing like, okay, why should we work with you? What are the pricing that comes with it? Things like that. Develop and analyze custom report. That is what I said. When you're optimizing, you are going to track, right? You're going to have a way to track your performance, your changes, and then at the end of the month, we report those changes to a client or to the stakeholder or to the rest of the team. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's weekly reporting, sometimes it's quarterly reporting. Okay, and the last bullet point is just strategy. The more you spend time in the technology, the more you spend time making these changes, you'll start seeing specific needs or specific trends happening in your data, right? And that's where assisting with the strategy comes from. It's the fact that when you start seeing these trends, you can go back and say like, hey, I'm actually performing a lot on news sites, or I've been performing a lot on Spotify for the Disney music genre. Maybe we should target moms with younger kids, think something like that, right? So that's the type of strategy inside you can start pulling, but you'll only be able to pull these strategy and assist like that with spending time in your data. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. Let's talk about what it means from a soft skill. So technical skills, managing a campaign, setting up in a platform, pulling insight, adjusting based on what you're asked. Soft skill, you're going to have to be all of the above. You're going to have to be curious. You're going to be confident. You're going to be consistent. Most of us are already patient to some extent. Most of us are already resilient. If you're watching this video, you're interested in this. Nobody else has told you to watch this video, and you're resilient. You want to find out what is out there. So I commend you for being here. And I'll end with this. You got to be open-minded. You got to be a change engine. What I mean by that is that this is a technology base industry. Technology means it's a lot of updates that's going to happen. So you always going to have to be very, very open to learning constantly, and that your education journey, education is not the destination here, it's a journey. Okay, just being that. So let's recap really quick. Okay, so for your soft skill, I know you already have it. Communication skills, a big deal, which was the last three bullet point. Communication, because you will be considered the leader of the technology or the expert. So it's really important that you explain to people that have no idea. Literally, they're not in the technology every day, right? So they cannot comprehend certain things. It's just not conceptually doesn't make sense. So it's your job to educate them on what you do and what is happening so that they can really be your advocate in front of a client, especially when it comes to internal teams. Okay. The second skill set is analytical. I mentioned earlier, everybody is some form of analytical, and you can learn how to be analytical. Okay. And the first one would be you have to remain a lifelong learner. You have to remain open to learning constantly and applying and adjusting and being flexible. Those are the soft skill set that we are all looking for. The want to learn, open-minded, and always asking questions. So I hope this was helpful.